Hi kids, let's talk dialights. You know, I've been working on the dialight, trying to get my the Stromberg Carlson 1400 came from the factory without a dialight. The 1500, they added a dialight. They're virtually identical except for that. So one of the problems though in trying to add a dialight to these things is watch what happens to that dialight when I switch the 1500 on. Dialight's right there. See that thing flare up and then settle down, and then it comes out pretty dim doing that. I'm going to unplug it, and what I'm going to try to do here, let me cover up my speaker so I don't put a hole in it. What I'm going to try to do is add a couple of those Zener diodes, which I have right here. I've wired them together, soldered them together. And I'm going to try to put those in parallel with the dial light resistor. So let me get in here for a second and see if I can do that real quick. I'm just going to try to kind of slap them on here and see what I can do. And that's going to be this resistor right here, and I got to make sure I've got it going the right direction. So I'm just going to crimp these on here as best I can with my little J hooks. And see if we can do this real quick while I have the camera running. And I'll just give you, I hope I can do this, clamp that on there, and get this other one on there too, like that. I've got to make sure I got that on there where it's not touching anything else. Just being stubborn enough where it doesn't want to stay on here, where I just need that there. Hang on. Best laid plans. Best laid plans. Let's see if I can do that. Mike. Alright, I'm just going to... Just a second. Let me just weasel that off of there. Alright, I think we're just going to go ahead and do it with a couple of test leads because it's really not wanting to do what I want it to do. So we're just going to... I don't care if the radio's upside down. I just need to demonstrate, you know, the difference. Got to get this going the right direction. Your Zener has to go the right way. Okay, so if I do that and that these two Zener diodes are now running parallel with the dialight resistor. Okay, so we'll plug it back in. Let me move it first. I'm going to move it over here. Plug it back in. And your dialight is now at the bottom, of course. Let me move my speaker cover. Okay, it's right there. See if it makes a difference. Not really. Okay, not really. And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I have these wired in the right way. Let me spin it around and we'll try it one more time. But I'm pretty sure I have the Zeners wired in the right way, so this should be the wrong way. Try it one more time. Okay, that's actually a little bit better. So maybe I did have them in there backwards. I'm doing this in a hurry. So that's a little bit better. It cuts down on that dialight flare up, and you can see, it comes out okay. It's fairly dim. I'm going to go ahead and shut this one off. So I might do that on this one. I might go ahead and throw those Zeners in there because this has, this one's set up from the factory to have a dial light and everything, and you know, maybe I'll go ahead and do that with the Zeners. But let me get this radio out of here, and I'm going to show you what I've done on the 1400. Because this was suggested to me a long time ago. The first 1400 that I worked on, this was suggested to me. And I didn't do it at the time because I didn't have the right capacitor. It was suggested to me that I do it this way on this radio, since it never had a dial light in the first place. Is get yourself a 3 UF or 3 MFD capacitor. And I don't have one of those, so I'm using 3 1 UF capacitors in parallel to make a 3. And I'll probably get a 3 because this is going to take up a lot of space. But anyway, you go from where your power comes in, your line cord, You run it through your 3 MFD capacitor, microfarad, to the bulb, and from the bulb to the ground. You go to that floating ground, which is running through a capacitor to the chassis ground. Okay? You do that. And that way, it's completely out of the heater string. It has nothing to do with the normal warm-up or operation of the radio. And the bulb will work independently of all of that. And you won't have any flare-up at all. So I've got the bulb just kind of perched on top here. Everything's running with test leads. I'm going to plug it in and turn it on, and you just watch that bulb right there and see what a difference it makes doing it this way. The bulb just comes on like a normal bulb with no flare-up. It gets, you know, as bright as it's going to get, and that's it. You know, and it really works well. That'll be, you know, certainly be bright enough to use as a dial light. It's a little bit brighter, or maybe, I'd say it's a little bit brighter than the one on the 1500 doing it this way. So that's what I've decided to do. I'm just trying to figure out, you know, if I want to go ahead and try to cram this under the chassis, or if I want to just buy one 3 microfarad capacitor that's going to be a little smaller. So that's where I'm at right now. But I just wanted to show you that. Show you the difference, the different things you can do. And every single one of these transformerless sets, these AC/DC sets, because of the way they're designed, if they come with a dial light, they flare up like that. So there's a couple of different things that can be done, at least in the case of this set, which never had one anyway. I just wanted to show you that, give you some idea of where I'm at, and I think, you know, you can go either way. Like I said, I think on the 1500, we'll add the Zehners, and I think it'll be okay. It'll reduce the flare up, and I think that'll be a good way to go. And I could have done the same thing on the 1400, but I kind of wanted to try both methods. So I think, you know, on a normal AC/DC set, adding a couple of Zehners makes a little bit of a difference. I think it might help. If you limit that flare up, you're going to probably extend the life of the bulb a little bit. And on a set like this that never had one in the first place, using the capacitor method, I think is definitely the way to go. So I'm going to get that put together, and like I said, I still got to clean up some of these other connections that someone else did, but we're making good progress. So we'll just keep moving on from here. Thanks for watching.